there. Whoa. Hello? Hello, Cosmic Ray. Good evening. Hello, Otto. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Is it an espresso machine in the background? Yes, the horse / unicorn is yeah, in front of at a coffee shop. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it actually polar aligned. So it turns out the Seestar was not unplugged, which we kind of suspected because the cord showed. Anyway, they looked at it this morning and it was plugged in. I guess they replugged it, but they unwound it. They said it was severely wrapped, cord wrapped. So, and it polar aligned in the first shot. So, if there's one good thing from that, it's better now. So we can just go over here and get going. Sorry, I think the actual problem is that I had some hot sauce earlier. Let's see. All right, cool. All right, let's get going. What targets are on the docket? That's a great question. I'm open to suggestions. I think the first target is what I've been doing first for the last few nights, is just trying to image the nova again, just because I'm trying to capture it over time. I will be running the latest ALP Experimental or ESC release here in a bit, but I was still updating it because I was making changes all day to it, and I'm trying to grab the very latest. All right. So, where am I now? Okay, cool. So we'll go image and I really should have a schedule for this to have the coordinates already ready to go instead of, but I'm just copy pasting them in every day. I did go ahead and clear off the Seestar, so I wouldn't have any issues. The Raspberry Pi was running low on disk. I fixed that. So hopefully everything else will go smoothly. I think the conditions are even better than I expected they would be, but let's try this. Okay. So first stop will be the nova, which I'm just doing for a few minutes and then moving on to something else. There was an LBN that I was planning on imaging. Are the clouds? There might be some clouds, but it's like residual twilight, I think. Because I mean, the sun set here hour and a half ago. Yeah, I mean, there is some high kind of clouds, but I think that's just twilight, like the last bits of astronomical twilight. Yeah. What are we imaging? Well, first, the nova. But it's got to do the dark frame first. But like I say, I'm open to suggestions. I was thinking of doing some bright Milky Way nebula, because I did M20 last night. I might do something else, something similar, but I haven't decided. There's also LBN 531, IVC 5076, maybe the Bubble Nebula. these are all ideas. Let me check something here real quick while it's still calibrating itself. All right. So what do we... Like I say, I'm definitely open to suggestions with the caveat that things to the north are going to be difficult because of the wall at Starfront. Okay, LBN looks good. Oh, LBN 531. That's the Wolf's Cave Nebula. I might start that one just because it's a little different. I'm not sure if it's high enough yet. And then there's IC 5076, which is much higher. I think I've imaged it on another night. I might not do that. It's a reflection nebula that's right near the North American Nebula. Or I might do the Bubble Nebula. I might start with... Maybe I'll just start with the LBN 531 Wolf's Cave and see how it goes. And if it ends up okay, we'll go with it. If it's still too low, I'll try IC 5076. But by the way, if you were watching last night, I was trying to image that interstellar comet. It's inconclusive. I'm not going to try again tonight. But I went over all the subframes, and SETI Astro Suite has a kind of asteroid detector and, kind of transient detector, and I tried it. And yeah, so it didn't, nothing conclusive. Yeah, clouds. Yeah, Wolf's Cave. Yep. Yeah, the Nova is this star right here. And it's faded quite a bit because originally it was as bright as this one. Let me see if I can bring up an image of it. So the first image I took of that let's see. Yeah, it's definitely faded a lot. My NAS had spun down the hard drives, and I hear them spinning back up because it's on the NAS. And while we're waiting, don't forget to like the video. It does help the stream a lot, especially given how infrequently I've been able to stream recently. I hope to fix that. And I've been looking at things I might be able to do when it's cloudy here and at Starfront, but nothing yet. Okay. Nope, wrong location. Starfront. And the target is V462 Loopy. So let me sort by the date. The first time I imaged this was June 20th, according to this. And so I've got a 2-minute exposure here. How does that look? No, that's messed up. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Let me. I didn't try to fix the display issues with this other monitor, but here's an image I took. No. Okay. Wait. Wrong. Okay. So this was, well, let me resize this a bit. So this is what it was like. So here is the the star that's over here, but then this is the nova. So it actually looks like it might have been slightly brighter than that star, but now it's definitely faded quite a bit. So yeah. How big was it? I'm not sure. I mean, it was a nova, which isn't a supernova, so it's a white dwarf that has, I guess, accumulated. Is that right? It's accumulated mass from a companion star, and then it got to a critical mass, and then there's a giant explosion. And nebulosity, I guess. I mean, there should be some. I would think there's something, like some kind of expanding cloud of debris from the explosion. Yeah, 10 second. Yeah, well, I didn't get it before, or at peak, and then, yeah, as it's fading. And that's why I've been trying to image it, like, consistently. I want to try to do, like, a time lapse of it or something, just kind of show it kind of fading. So, yeah, so it's faded a lot. I'm going to go schedule that LBN, what was it? No, not that one. LBN 531, the Wolf's Cave. And we'll see if it's too low. If it's too low, I'll move on to something else. But if not, we'll do this first. All right. This has 2 minutes left on the target before it goes next one. I've been trying to image it about the same amount. I kind of fixed on like 10 minutes. I mean, it's a star. You know, that way I get some of the background stars, but there's no point in getting a lot more. Although once it fades, it might be interesting to try to have longer exposures, because it'll fade pretty. I forget what. I never saw any information on how dim the star that triggered that had the nova. Progenitor. Is that the word? It's one of those things you say it and then it doesn't sound right. Yeah, progenitor. Yeah, the origin star that caused that. So it'll be moving on shortly. And now let me also check the status. Okay. So yeah, it should be shortly. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so we'll see how this looks. I'm working on trying to get the ALP Experimental nebulosity found spectrographically. Space engine, maybe. Okay. It's still plate solving. That's always a little... It's strange because there's been some targets I've tried to image and it's had a hard time plate solving. And there'll be like a star there, a few stars, but I don't know why. I don't know why it's having issues. Oh, maybe it's having issues because it's behind a building. So let me stop it, just see. I forgot that was one of the problems. It might be. No, looks like, oh yeah, it's building. All right, so moving on, we'll go to, I'll do 130,000 real objects. Wow, did not realize that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll do this IC object again, maybe. Although I could. Actually, this one I've been kind of intrigued by. LBN 182. So I'm going to try that one. Let me write that down. So if it LBN 182, I'll see things in Stellarium and I'm like, I should try that. And since it's pretty dark right now, and no moon's out of the way, I can at least give it a shot. I'm going to try it initially without the light pollution filter. All right. Meanwhile, I'm working on trying to get the server, the new ALP running, or ESC running. Okay, cool. Notice it says ALP Experimental, but once it starts, I went through and changed the name in the code. This is from this morning. That's, I think it's still compiling, so that's a stale image here. LBN 182, it might be, let me check. I think it might be. I don't have WR turned on. Dark side needs aperture. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, 2200. Gosh. Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Lagoon and Triffid. Well, thanks for stopping by. Hope you dropped a like if you haven't already. Okay, it's loading. Maybe. Hello, Brent. I'll have to check on the live view. Good evening. Well, thanks for joining. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if this, waiting for this to come up, and hopefully I didn't break it. Looks like it's running okay. Okay, yeah, so now this is up to date. And this is working, yay. And there was much rejoicing. Oh, right, yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. I had forgotten to write it down, but earlier I thought of it. I remembered you mentioning that. Yeah, so after midnight, is it midnight, 1 a.m., something like that, the moon will be passing through the Pleiades. So if I might try that, if I'm up, I forget how late it is, but it's kind of gradually moving through it. So that might be kind of an interesting thing to take a look at. Nicholas has something to say, yeah. Yeah, conditions are good. Let me minimize this. Now, it did, yeah, exactly. That was my thought too. It's like the Pleiades, when do they rise? The Pleiades rise around, oh, it's 2:30. 2:30 in the morning they rise here. So around that point, the moon will be passing through the Pleiades. So it's up a few hours now before sunrise, or before astronomical dawn. So it's that time of year. LPN 182. And like I say, it recommended that I use the light pollution filter, but I'm trying it initially without it. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, I guess not. I would stream there and here, but sometimes that ends up causing issues. Clouds there, yeah, that's unfortunate. Let's see. All right. Actually, let's see if it actually plate solves anything. Oh, hey. Yeah, so clouds, moons, pests. Yeah. We had, speaking of pests, we had a raccoon outside the door, and it was just like, you know, we were looking at it and the dogs were looking at it, and it's just kind of looking over its shoulder at us while it's like digging through the trash. Like the light was on and it didn't seem bothered. Good evening, Turf. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so this... actually, let me check this. I haven't checked to see if this got fixed. Nope, didn't get fixed. Yeah, there's a bug where when you make it full screen, the offsets are totally weird. Yeah, exactly. It was like a cartoon. The raccoon didn't care. What was another one that happened recently? Oh yeah, I think I mentioned this on Discord. I thought we had a mouse that was getting in the bird feeder. Turned out it was a rat. Oops. There would have to be optics to do that. I mean, and it would be a lot more complicated and expensive. Yeah, I'm just thinking of like zoom lenses, and zoom lenses are more expensive than prime lenses, but then having electronically controlled ones are generally even more expensive. I mean, it's doable, but I haven't actually seen that in a telescope, only like surveillance cameras and like just, you know, DSLR mirrorless and video cameras, and including professional video cameras. Yeah, I mean, it could be done, and I've certainly, I mean, like my solar, I mean, it wasn't automatic. It was autofocus, but it wasn't auto zoom. But I used a relatively large zoom for the solar eclipse. Yeah, I mean, some of those zooms can be, I mean, you can get high quality zooms, and they can be ridiculously expensive. Like I was thinking of the ones for professional video that are tens of thousands of dollars. Oh, hey, Chris. Welcome. It's been a while. Then again, I haven't been consistently streaming either, so welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm wondering how long I'll let this go before I end up turning on the light pollution filter to try to bring out some of the nebulosity, because there should be some. It might be too faint, but like some HA. I mean, the fact it isn't showing up yet isn't very promising. Although, what was that NGC? It was... $6883? Am I even pointing at the right thing? Oh, yeah. Okay. So there should be some blue nebulosity around here, which you can kind of start seeing the beginning of it, but this might be another one of those, you know, multi-hour projects. Oh, wow. Yeah. Housework. Yeah. Cloudy. Yeah, that's the way it's been in Texas. A lot of clouds all over. Andromeda is... Let me see if it's... it's just starting... It's just risen. Like, it's right at the horizon. And it's a direction where I can't image it well. Because it's behind, like, either another telescope or a building. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's the thing I've been And yeah. That's what do you call it? It's, I mean, I'm paying for Starfront, but I don't necessarily want to pay for another one right now. But I've been trying to figure out what kind of things, what other options I have. Yeah, to try to beat the weather. Yeah, well, I mean, because you're much further east, so, and really that's from my location. It's just rising. Starfront's just that much further west. It might technically be below the horizon there. Welcome, Mundus. How's it going? Thanks for joining. For some reason, YouTube is doing this again, where it says stream health is not good, and yet I'm pumping out 15 megabits a second, and I'm getting no errors on my internet. So I don't know what their problem is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, easier. Yeah, I mean, the problem is with the Atacama Desert is it is like there are hosting sites there, and it's where, like, for those who don't know, it's like where the Vera Rubin scope is. A lot of other big the biggest scope in the world's being built down there. But the problem is it's the hosting sites I've seen were more expensive, and customs in Chile are such that it takes a while if you send them a scope, and they, like, it could take weeks or months, something like that. But there are those, like, telescope time sharing services, and there are some down there, but that would be another option. But I don't know. Watching from the Rockies, cool, nice. I'm in Flatland here in Houston. It's the I'm not in the Rockies, I'm in the marshies or swampies, I don't know. That wouldn't be a good marketing thing if that's what the name was, even if that's what it is. All right, I'm gonna turn on the light pollution. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so humid here. Oh wow, 56. What is it here? It's 83 here right now at 10:40 p.m. But it feels like 85 heat index because it's 80% humidity out there right now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I knew a guy who had a place in who owned some land in Argentina, but I haven't talked to him in years. 75, that's comfortable. Reasonably comfortable. So I was going to go turn on the light pollution filter and just see how that changes things. Been dropping a lot. I'm dropping a lot of frames, which isn't very reassuring. Oh, by the way, Cosmic Ray, it's not fully done yet, and I was struggling to get a good release, a new release built this afternoon. But if you look, I have a version string here, which is a lie. That is a lie, but it at least has a build string there now. And it also has a link to the GitHub and issues, but if you maximize it, it gets hidden, so it isn't wasting space. But I need to make some adjustments to that. And it actually queries GitHub to tell you if there's a new release. Again, scope creep. It says it right in the name. It's well, it doesn't say it there, but it's experimental scope creep. Oh, nice. That's really nice. Big bugs. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, we don't really have a... it's funny, in Houston, we really don't... like, monsoon season's kind of a strange concept to me because it just rains here all the time. Every day is monsoon day. Or can be. Has the potential for being monsoon day. All right, I'm turning on the light pollution filter. We'll see. We'll let that go for a bit, and if it works, if it doesn't make it worse, yeah, the cloud filter, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's just, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, I mean those aren't. I mean, it would. That's true. Setup time for Hubble is high. Maintenance was kind of tricky. Kind of, not to mention, it's you know, how many tens or hundreds of millions of sea stars could you? Well, tens of millions of sea stars you could, or millions of sea stars at least, you could buy with for the price of a Hubble. Not that you could actually control a million. Yeah, that's... I am not controlling it currently, no. Like, theoretically, I mean, I could steer it if I wasn't imaging. I mean, the controls do... I mean, these controls do work. The park works. Focus does work. This doesn't actually work, I don't think. But no, I'm not controlling it because I ended up getting hung up on the on some of this stuff with the image enhancement. I mean, it's, I don't know. Don't know that it was worth the amount of time I spent on it. That's true. I mean, I guess from target to target doesn't take long, but the upfront setup took a bit of effort. Oh, that could be cool. Yeah, so I started the light pollution. Oh, hello, Star Traveler. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so I started the light pollution filter, so we'll see if this starts making a difference. I might move on to another target if it doesn't. Because there should be, let me flip this around. Like, there should be some blue nebulosity here. And I'm like looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, there should be some blue nebulosity here, and there should be like red nebulosity throughout here. And sometimes I have a hard time telling if we're seeing that or if it's just noise. Yeah, it seems pretty clear. Let's see. All right. And periodic reminder, don't forget to give the video a like. Stingray Nebula. Well, if Chuck is imaging it, he's at Starfront too. So he Yeah. Let me see what it looks like. I have a feeling it's a faint target. Stingray Nebula. Whoa. Holy moly. How did he image that? Certainly not from Starfront. No, there's no way he imaged this from Starfront. It's right at the meridian right now, and from here, it's not even a degree above the horizon, and Starfront is another degree further north than here, so it would be below the horizon there. So I have no idea. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it looks like it might be interesting, but I can't image it from Starfront. I don't know where he imaged it from. Nice. So there you go. In my stellarium, I mean, I can search for it, but it doesn't really show anything. Yeah, or he's got a telescope in Chile, maybe. But yeah, because he's not gonna. I mean, I think with Bray Falls, the Starfront co-founder, I think he has a telescope in Chile, so maybe he used his data. I don't know. Because yeah. I mean, that is interesting though. See, another reason I need to get a scope in Chile. All the cool kids are doing it. Actually, that would mean I should be disqualified from it, but anyway. But yeah. That would be cool. I should start a fundraiser. GoFundMe for a telescope in Chile. And then send like a Tasco refractor down there. No. It costs $1,000 a month to send a Tasco refractor. Anteater Nebula. Let me look that up. I mean, there are some interesting, very southern targets that I would never be able to do here. Yeah, actually, that one's... Oh, I have imaged that one. It's... I should... You know... This isn't going anywhere. Let's do that. It's 19 degrees above the horizon, pretty far south. We could get some time on it. I know Stephen Fox has imaged that because it's easier. It's minus 36 degrees declination, so definitely easier from the southern hemisphere. But it gets high enough here, so I'm gonna try that one. Yeah, he has a rasa there, but even then, that object wouldn't have gotten above the horizon at Starfront. Because it was right at the meridian when I looked just now. Like, it's at the meridian now where I am, but it was 42 arc minutes above the horizon, so I don't see how he could have imaged that. Yeah, some are week-long commitments. Yeah, let me tee up that new one, or and let me try to do. I imaged it at one point. How do I want to do this? At the risk of it being a little... So it also goes by Caldwell 68. Like the whole complex. I'm going to frame it a little differently here. I hate that when there's... Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this framing. And so I'll call this Caldwell 68 because it's partly. I'll call it C68 for now. I'll let this go for a while, and I'm not going to do any filter on it for now. All right, I'm going to skip to the next target. I mean, for me, I think it's summer Milky Way. Yeah, I'm really curious what he did, how he got that image. Unless I'm looking at the wrong one. Like, there's a few targets where they go by there's like more than one. Like, there's more than one southern pinwheel. One of which I can image from Starfront, the other I cannot. So, like, I don't see how he could have imaged that. Unless, I don't know how. It says the altitude's 0 degrees, 42 arc minutes. Now, with atmospheric refraction, it's a degree above the horizon. But that's still not, I mean, that's from here. And Starfront is, like, I'm 29.5 and Starfront's like 31 degrees latitude. So I don't see how it could be imaged from there. Yeah, Anteater. Oh, it's members only. Yeah, it's got to be from somewhere else. Is he traveling? I mean, that's the other way people do it. They'll go somewhere and, oh, here we go. Here we go. Now, it's pretty low, so it's going to have that yellow, that nice yellow tint. And so I framed it intentionally to get some of this globular here. This is it is the chandelier. It's not chandelier cluster, NGC 6723. So that's what this is here. And this is the Anteater Nebula. And this is an IC object. And there's some dark nebulosity in here, and the whole thing is the Rho Carina something, whatever it is. It's also known as C68 or NGC 27 or 6729. So there's a lot going on there, and I'm going to let this go for a bit because I'm kind of curious what I can get with that. Yeah, it's already kind of, and if you look at the photos of it, it's really amazing. So the app, so yeah, I'm using hello, good evening, welcome. I'm using a Seestar, and there is a desktop. So yeah, custom built by me. So there's a software out there called Seestar ALP, which lets you control Seestars, runs in the browser. I mean, there's a back-end piece, but it runs in the browser. That's been out for over a year now, and quite a few people use it. But I didn't start that project, but I've contributed to it, and I decided to. There's a backstory to it, but long story short, I started writing a new version to make some changes in how things were done to help in the user experience and reliability, hopefully. Anyway, so that's what I'm running here. Yeah, no problem. But it's like highly experimental at this point. I mean, it's suitable for monitoring the Seestar. It doesn't. I haven't implemented the go-to functionality that works in ALP, but I haven't implemented it in this yet. I've got most of it. Yeah, the white nebula is showing up pretty quickly. But yeah, there's two of them. Like there's this brighter one, which is the anteater, which is this whole area. So it's not just like lens flare or something. And then there's kind of another one that's around this star. Yeah, so good call. Thanks for suggesting that one. I had imaged it like a month or two ago when I had a schedule, and it was a target I started at like 4 a.m. because that's when it was up. And yeah, so I hadn't imaged it in a while and kind of forgot about it. Yeah. I mean, right now it's about 20 degrees above the horizon, which is plenty at Starfront because it's out in the Great Plains. But for me, with all the building clutter, I can see towards the south, but I don't think I can see that low. Let me actually see. I've got my... Let me see. Yeah. It. I have that kind of canyon to the south, I call it, where two buildings, like I can see a bit lower to the horizon there, and at 1 a.m. it's like 1 degree below the bottom of that, so I can't see it from here. It's close though, but no cigar. I might use this as an opportunity to mess around with some of these settings. Might dial back the stretch. That might be making some of the graininess worse. Yeah, that's good. That made it a bit more contrasty. Oh, and then this thing right here. In the grass. Yeah, no, it is a really interesting target. Oh, hey. Speaking of Destin. Okay, so yeah, he did the stingray, but like how? How did he do that? Was it the Stingray Nebula? Or was it the Stingray Cluster? If it's the Stingray Nebula, I still don't understand. Because there's a Stinging Scorpion Cluster, Stingray Cluster, and a Stingray Nebula. Yeah, they have... Yeah, it has some... Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks like a comet, yeah. Oh, nice. Cool. That can be nice. Getting out, working in the garden. Yeah, so since somebody mentioned Discord, the channel Discord server, that's the link to it. We talk about astronomy and other random things. Yeah, it might only be in the in my channel description. All right. Yeah, this is looking pretty reasonable. Oh, I decided to split screen it. Forgot my this is Stephen Fox had posted a image of the sun from where he is, and some sunspots that are on the disc right now, and that's his all sky camera. Well, not quite all sky camera, but his New Zealand sunset camera or bay camera. Oh, and actually, yeah, so I need to, all right, so, yeah, so you can see the beginning of this band of dark nebulosity through here. And it continues on down here. That's actually dark nebulosity. So I was going to try some of these other settings here to see if I can bring out any detail. No, it's just a bunch of nebulosity. It's still a work in progress. The noise reduction, and yeah, I don't think that's actually doing anything. Or wait, let me try cranking up the strength. Well, at least the stretch, stretch changes. What's the current target? It's Caldwell 68, which you've done some really nice photos of. Someone mentioned the Anteater Nebula, so I was like, oh right, Angelfish Nebula. Let me write that down. Pelican and Angelfish. I'll look both of those up. I mean, the Pelican I know is in a good spot, but Angelfish rings a bell. I just need to look up where that is. So you can really make this stretch terrible. Like this is the Graxpert stretches. So yeah, you can really see the dark nebula kind of. Oh, let me look at it. Okay. I think there's still a problem because I think it's not making its way through the pipeline, but I'll keep it on. It seems okay. Okay, cool. Snake Nebula, Bernard 72. Yeah, I'll add that to the list. Yeah, it definitely, I agree. It probably would take hours, but I should try to get more time on this anyway, just so I can try to, while it's kind of in a good position, that I could start imaging it at this point instead of having to image it at like 4 in the morning like I was originally. One thing Cosmic Ray had mentioned that I need to make note of that again before I forget again is doing photometric kind of spectrophotometric color calibration, so that it could, like in the case of this, it could correct probably that yellow tint, which would be awesome. So I need to look into that. All right. Cool. Yeah, it would be good to neutralize the colors a bit, but it's still pretty cool. Like you can really see the this dark nebulosity through here, It's really an interesting target. Just a lot going on in that field. Like a lot between the globular cluster and a few nebulas. Yeah, that's, I mean, the problem is now for a while I've been streaming from this Windows computer, so if I were to run Space Engine at the same time, it probably wouldn't be great. Yeah. Yeah, improve. Yeah, basically, the only problem with the serial code is, like, it's in C++, and so I would nice, yeah, I would have to either somehow lift that code and wrap it in Python as a external library so I could call it. But what I was planning on doing is SETI Astro Suite has, he calls it spectral flux color calibration. And so, because he said it, he wasn't sure if it was exactly what PixInsight and Cyril are doing. But he has, I mean, he has reference sensors and filters, and it will look at the image, identify the stars, and come up with a what do you call it? A reference. It compares it to a reference color and then comes up with the adjustments. So I don't know how CPU intensive it is. I've played around with it, I think, a little bit, but I think if you just did if you calculated the adjustments, then you should be able to just apply it on further images. So anyway, I think that is going to be the easiest path for me. Oh, okay. Well, no. It's the problem is it's like yet another programming language. I already have it in TypeScript, but like, yeah, this is. Yeah, it's all, actually it's C, not even C++. I mean, I've written plenty of C over the years, but it's been years. So here's the SPCC code. Of course. Yeah. Get code viewing at no extra charge. How many lines of code is this? It's only 356. So let's see what it's doing. Convert the flux. Atmospheric correction, air mass, calculate transmittance, pressure at height. Yeah, I mean, the problem is I'd either have to wrap this code and integrate it in with Python, or I'd have to translate this into Python, which it would probably just be easier to use yeah, it would probably just be easier to use the version in City Astro Suite. Okay, let's check that out. Since it is an easier target for you, since it's much higher in the sky. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's very overexposed, like you said. But yeah, it shows all the detail in there. Like, there's so much in this area. This is the kind of thing that you could just do hours and hours of, just to capture like all this dark nebulosity and how all the reflection nebulosity kind of is over a really extended area. That's awesome. Actually, it looks like there's a reflection nebula over here. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this one now. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, see, now I want to image this one again and again and again until I get, I mean, it looks like more doable than the Dolphin Nebula. Or the Squid Nebula, which, like, this is only 20 minutes. It's not bad. I don't think I would need, 20 hours to get a reasonable result. But I'm going to let this run for a little longer. Yeah, you can really see depending on your monitor, you can see, like looking at it on my laptop, looking at the stream coming back, I can really see this dark lane here. And this is like the center of the dark lane going down here and kind of, getting wider down here. But then not as much dark nebulosity here, just a bunch of stars. And then some bands over here. That looks really cool already. I wonder, I'm going to try I reduced the stretch just because I wanted to see how it looked. Oh, I didn't change it. That's why it didn't change. I didn't change it. There we go. Okay, I want to see what it looks like on stream, because the monitor I have it on isn't. Oh, yeah. That's cool. How does that look to people? That was a great suggestion. I might have a hard time stopping this target. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at the other stretch. Looks kind of smoky through here. It's kind of cool. So right now what I'm doing is I am adjusting the stretch. So, I mean, because the linear data, you can't see anything in it, or much of anything. So even the app, like it's having to do that. So the only things I'm doing are just kind of cosmetic. It's kind of like boosting like the level of stretching, and the other stuff doesn't even really work right now. At the very least, I was hoping to get like a denoise to try to like clean it up, but mostly when I've tried it, it just made it look smooth. New processing. I mean, it's still got to do, like right now I don't have anything turned on. Like it's just doing the stretch, which it has to. Like all of the live streaming or live viewing things have to stretch. I mean, the Seestar does a stretch. It's just the degree of stretch. But like I don't, like this isn't turned on. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Like it isn't turned on by default. None of these steps, they're all off. And plus they don't even really do anything. And they just bog it down. Like the denoising, I don't think actually works. I mean, like I say, you don't have to use it. It's off by default. I might use it if it ends up working. But thus far it's been underwhelming, so it's only the stretch really. Okay. Yeah, if I turn off the stretch, like I can go no stretch, and you'll see what a raw frame looks like. That's what a raw frame looks like. Like you literally will only see the brightest stars. Like you can see a star here. You can see some of that, like those two bright reflection nebularies. You can see the star. But yeah, like some things you won't see anything. But yeah, that's what the raw sensor view looks like. So that's kind of cool. You can actually see what the raw sensor looks like. No stretch. The Seestar level of stretch is probably, I don't know if it's around 10 or... So this is what ALP is doing out of the box. So it's probably like might be a 15%. Yeah, that's probably about the level it is. It's 15%. You should. The problem is, I was trying to cut a build for it. It might work in your version. You could try it with like this little diamond here, or sparkle thing, and try changing the drop down here. The other stuff definitely would probably break in the older version, but I think the stretch works. So yeah, you can fill around with it, or turning it off really doesn't buy anything because it's just totally dark, almost totally dark. But yeah, I should actually make note of that like no stretch is the linear view of the data unmodified. So it is interesting to see how like you can't, like there's nothing to see in or almost nothing to see in astronomical images without stretching. Like the data is there. It's just a matter of and really these stretches are fairly benign. They're just kind of normalizing, like if there's 65,000 possible values for a pixel of light brightness, but all the values are within the first 100, you can kind of move it. Yeah, the Seestar denoise, I would like, that was actually my goal, was to have something comparable to what the app is doing, but be able to do it live. And so that was kind of actually my motivator. But but it's all opt-in. But I'm not 100% sure what denoise they're using. I should look at that, or at least, once I get mine working better, compare it with what's coming out of the Seestar, or once you denoise it in the Seestar. I wonder if it's something like the AI denoise that Graxpert uses, which is good, but it's super intensive. So they must be using something else, because there's no way they could run it on, well, no, phones are pretty fast, because it's running on your phone, not on the Seestar. I think, pretty sure it's running on your phone. But it's some kind of, I'm not sure. There's a few different, like in this, like I'm using a few different Python denoising things that are in like one of the libraries, but I'm not sure they're very good. Like maybe for astronomical, maybe for other types of data, like or maybe I need to experiment with the order. Yeah. And that's another thing. Thanks for reminding me. I need to add. Yeah. It's basically kind of the infrastructure I've been building to try to get it where you could pop that thing up, and if you wanted to fill with it. But as far as the denoise, I wanted it to actually be, unlike the Seestar app where you have to do it after the fact, I wanted it to be live. I need to take a sip. I've been having like allergy issues today. That's what I get for going outside. Shouldn't make that mistake. Yeah, this is turning out nicely. I'm really happy with how this is looking. Like you can start seeing, I don't know why it did that color shift. That's the only problem with the Graxpert stretch, is it does, the colors are usually okay, but then sometimes they shift weirdly. Again, processing 12-step. I mean, my intent was basically to do the kind of things that the Seestar app is doing, but do it kind of where it's less of a step, where you're not having to like do an extra step, but to try to do at least some light level of, noise reduction on the fly. Like that's the biggest one for me. Like those other ones are just kind of, I added them, but they're not doing a whole lot. But the noise, if I could get one to work, it would be the noise reduction. Yeah, I agree. The S30 is great. I was thinking if the S50 has an issue with Starfront, like if I break it, like when I wrap the cord, if I somehow broke the USB port on it, on the scope itself, I would probably take the S30 up there. Just because, yeah, I agree. The results I've gotten here in the skies here has been great, and when I see the results you get from your skies, yeah, I would totally put it there. Yeah. But yeah, look at that. That is looking neat, if I do say so. I mean, that is a cool structure, because you've got this kind of dark nebula, but then you have this kind of smoky, wider area, like much wider area of dark nebulosity that's obscuring a lot of the stars behind. And then you have, but then like over here, it's like there's almost none. You have the globular cluster here, and then you have these two really bright reflection nebulas. And then this thing down here. And this is without the light pollution filter on. So I figured with all the darkening nebula and reflection nebula, I probably should do it without a filter. No filters. Yeah, that was... Yeah, I ended up scheduling this for 2 hours, and it's already 40 minutes in, but I'm not going to run the full 2 hours on it. So I'm going to look at those other targets for at least to schedule it, and then I'll skip to the next one. So the pelican, angelfish, and Bernard 72. Angelfish, SH2 63. That is a really cool target. This one. That one looks faint. But let me change to a different survey. I'm using a dual band survey. It's the DSS. Yeah, so let me do the red, which is the one I had been using. Did I mess it up? Oh, I didn't actually check it. That would help. That one looks kind of faint. It looks cool. It looks interesting. Looks faint though. Let me look up what that looks like. Well, let me look it up here. Yeah. Yeah, it is really cool. That's one of the coolest ones I've seen. Yeah, there's so much in one image, it's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. Sorry about that. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Wait. Okay. I love it when it gives me like some part. Okay, Sharpless catalog. Yeah. Does not do well at all with any of narrowband. Need a lot of data. Okay, that's an interesting one. That's on the list, so Pelican. Yeah, that is really cool. It doesn't show up as well as on my monitor, but on my laptop, it almost looks like two eyes staring at you. That's really cool. That is a very interesting target. I know, I keep saying it, I just can't get over how... Alright, cool. And really, I don't think I've ever imaged it live before. Because, like, I set it up on a schedule at 4 in the morning, so... I guess it's also more impactful right now, because I'm seeing it as it's coming in. Okay, so... let's look at the Pelican. That is really awesome. Alright, Pelican. Yeah, so that's that one right next to North American Nebula. I don't think I've imaged it like really. Yeah, more hours, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay, so I think Stephen may have been doing a mosaic of it. That looks really cool. And again, the cool thing about it too is it's just not a target that it's pretty low target. Oh. Here's one I might try too, that I don't think I've imaged or not done it justice. Actually, I might do this one next. It's Caldwell 57 Bernard's Galaxy, which is kind of an irregular galaxy. I just want to try that out just to see how it looks. And Bernard 72 is the snake, and that's a good one, and it's got the ink spot there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. C60, C57 is very faint. Yeah. Yeah. I might give it a brief try, just a few minutes on it, just to see how much data I can get, or what I'm up against. And it's something I think I had tried once before and failed, so I think that's another motivator for me is to try again. So I'm just gonna I'll do 15 minutes with it, just so I'm not like spending a ton of time on it, and I'm not moving on to it immediately. I'm just adding it to the schedule. And then the question becomes, maybe I'll do... Well, let's see, pelican versus snake. Pelican is there. Whoa, zoomed out too far. Okay. And snake is... Maybe I'll do... Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Because the Snake Nebula is near the meridian right now, and so it's not super low, but it's also lower than the Pelican right now. So yeah, what the heck, we'll do Bernard 72. Which also goes by Bernard. Yeah, it's Bernard 72. Might do 20 minutes on that one because it's a dark nebula. It's a fairly opaque dark nebula, and it's on a very rich star field, so it doesn't take a ton of time. That was my knee popping if you heard that. And then I'll do a little time on the Pelican. Mostly, I mean, not mostly, it's good because I don't think I've spent that much time on the Pelican. And we'll see what this framing looks like too. Do a little bit of time on that. And that'll use the light pollution filter. And finally, I think I'll do that angelfish. Just because that looks like a challenge. And I like challenges sometimes, especially, you know, since Starfront has... I like trying to take advantage of the conditions there and get more challenging targets. So it's interesting. It suggests to use the light pollution filter, but then the sites I saw said don't. So I'm not going to do it. Yeah, some HA C57. Let me see. Oops. Need to move it back over on this monitor. Oh wow, 40 minutes. That is faint. But still, it's worth a... I think I only did it for like 15 minutes on the schedule, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm enjoying this one too much, I think, right now. How long have I been? 257 frames. Been running for 53 minutes, so I'm gonna let it go up to an hour, so 6 more minutes, and then like I say, I set it up for 2 hours. I'm just gonna move on to the next. It's minus 36 degrees. It's actually almost minus 37 degrees. I'm just making sure I note the coordinates so I can get back to the same framing of it, because that's always, especially if I'm imaging it more. Cool. Very nice. One thing I haven't really done is zoomed in on this. Yeah, I really like this smoky nebulosity up here. Like, it's really cool. And then there's a whole bunch of dark nebulosity that goes down here and over here. Also some more of the smoky kind of nebulosity. Yeah, this is an awesome target. Oops, too far out. All right, cool. So yeah, just a few more minutes and we'll try Bernard's galaxy. I might just go ahead and move on. It's like I have to hit skip either way, so I definitely want to get a few more hours on this target. I mean, this is an hour. I think if I were to do 10 hours on it, I think that would be pretty cool. Oh, I forgot to look at the annotations on this. It's got a lot of stuff going on here. For some reason it has NGC in front of everything. I need to fix that. It's getting a bit carried away there. So it is plate solving. Failed the first frame. Always off to a great start. Oh, there we go. Got one frame. I can see something there, at least. At least I can see something. So maybe it won't be a total bust. So this is Bernard's galaxy, also known as C57 or NGC 6822. Do you run it on different machines? So this instance, I'm not running using the deployed method. I'm running it from the source code, but I'm running it on my Raspberry Pi. So this, my web browser is pointing at my Raspberry Pi. So it's all of it's running on the Pi. Plus ALP's running on the Pi at the same time. But I only have those two. I don't have anything else running. But yeah. But like I say, I was before the stream I was trying to get a build made, and for some reason it was failing on the server side. Like there's two pieces of the build. There's the front end and the back end. The front end worked, back end didn't, or it didn't build. And I tried it again, it didn't build, so I'll look at it tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, so I haven't tried it on Docker on my Mac actually. I've only run it kind of directly, and I've run it directly on my Raspberry Pi at Starfront, and then I have a Raspberry Pi here that I've run it in Docker. So once I got the build working, I was wanting to try it on the Raspberry Pi here, since it's kind of intentionally set up like how people would use it, like a non-development version. And really the one at Starfront is, I think I bootstrapped it with a script, but I'm not running the Docker part of it. I'm just kind of manually running the server and the client. But yeah, I haven't actually, it's been, you and Dark Shades has actually gotten it running, on his, Seestar, but that's you, it's only you two. Astro X, welcome. Good evening. Thanks for joining. So this is NGC 6822 Bernard's Galaxy. It's 1.6 million light years away. It's a barred irregular galaxy. So it's not just an irregular galaxy, it's a barred irregular galaxy. It was discovered by E. Bernard in 1884 with a 6-inch refractor. It's the closest non-satellite galaxy to the Milky Way. So, like there was a satellite galaxy I've imaged previously on stream, and that one's like 800,000 light years away, but it is a satellite. But this is not. It's a little over 1.5 million light years away. It's similar in structure and composition to the Small Magellanic Cloud. It's about 7,000 light years in diameter. Cool. So there you go. Hat P67. It needs 6,000 more users. Seen like a star. What is that? Hat. Hat P67 B. Oh, it's a binary star system. And then there's an exoplanet that's a hot Jupiter. It has one of the largest sizes and lowest densities of any known exoplanet. Well, that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, and as far as 6,000, definitely not while it's in the pre-alpha or alpha stage. That said, I'm not gonna do the what do you call it? Keeping it in alpha or beta. I'm not going to do the developer fear of commitment thing of having it eternally a beta. I'm going to once I get being able to look up a target and go to it and start imaging, I'm going to call it, it'll be at least beta, and then I'm totally fine with a lot more people looking at it. And like some of what I've been doing is I've been trying some new things and then kind of shelving them for a bit, because like the imaging stuff, I'm ready to shelve some of it. Like the stretching is working fine. I might shelve the rest. until I have more time to focus on it, because I need to loop back on the imaging part. I had kind of the outline of the code in there, but haven't actually put it together. Anyway, so once that's in place and there's been a little bit more time to work out kind of core functionality bugs, then along the way I'll say it's alpha, and then I'll make it beta. When does the box set come out? Yeah, I don't know. Sculptor Galaxy, that's a great question. Let me check. Exoplanets and Hercules, that's cool. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, I don't know when I'll ever make an observatory. My yard isn't really big enough for it. I don't know. Maybe a micro observatory. Sculptor is below the horizon. It will rise a little after 1 in the morning. So it's starting to get to be a target. Like, I would say around 3 a.m. I could image it. And actually I should put that on my list, because I always want to maximize the clear nights, and so I'll add things to the schedule to run. Although the moon's going to be up at that point. Yeah, so I'll add it to the list for maybe, if it's clear in a few days, to run like a late night. All right. Yeah, so this I only did for... It's going to go 6 more minutes. Unless I stop it. But yeah, it's starting to show something. But yeah, it's a tricky, definitely a tricky target. Let me see. This is where the extra stretch thing, we'll see what this does. How does that look? Yeah, I'm not sure that really, it also makes the background brighter. Yeah, sometimes I go the other direction just yeah, I think I'll stick to kind of the in-between value. 360 subscription. Yeah, no, it's all licensed as open source. But I've said this before: if people give me money, I won't turn it down. But yeah, no. Yeah, the Seestar isn't bad. I mean, it's the tracking, like, it's not guiding. It's doing 10-second exposures and stacking them, but yeah, it's good enough for the field of view. Like, it's not like super narrow field, but you can still get quite a few interesting things. Like, this is interesting to me. And I think these are some of those what do you call it, HA regions or something? And actually, that's weird. That's interesting. It's interesting because right here, it's starting to come through here. But at least according to Stellarium, that's a galaxy. Like, I mean, these things aren't, but that one is. PGC 63596. PGC 63596. Oh. Oh. No, that's my it's got a PGC number, but it's not a separate. It is an emission H2 region, like this little faint area here. This right here. And then these two areas are also HA regions. And then there's another one that's somewhere around here. There's another one. But these two are the brightest, and yeah, then this one. But those are HA regions around that galaxy, I guess. It's kind of interesting. There's a few other little structures around it as well. The moon. The problem is doesn't rise here until like 3 a.m. Or the moon itself doesn't rise for more than 2 hours from now. 3 hours. Let me see. When does it rise? Oh. Yeah, it's not like until like 2:30 in the morning it rises, or maybe even 3. So yeah, Erwin Rubin system. That would be nice. Friend brought us Celestron Origin. That's cool. Oh wow, yeah. What do they think of it? Switch to CNN. Yeah, I don't know if they'll cover that on CNN. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have staying up until 3 a.m. In me, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, that's done. So it's moving on to the next target. So let me reset. Oh, is this the snake? I can already see it on the first frame. Like right there. It's pretty good. 10 seconds. Can already see the snake. I mean, barely, but... Yeah, like I say, it helps that it's a very opaque dark nebula, and it's on a very bright star field. Hercules globular cluster. Are you talking about M3? Or wait, is it M3? M13. Yeah, M13. Yeah, it's pretty high right now. Gonna get a little time on the snake here. Yeah, yeah, it does. It does start showing up pretty quickly. It's for a dark nebula. I mean, it helps that there's no moon and the skies are like Bortle 1 or Bortle 1 adjacent. So yeah, it shows up remarkably fast. Yeah, that's only not even 2 minutes into it. Yeah, 10 frames. So 100 seconds. I'm only doing 10-second frames. Let's see. So yeah, it looks like. And the other problem is even worse. So the moon rises around 2:30 US Central Time, but it's rising to the east northeast, which there's a telescope in the way. So I probably couldn't even image it until 4 in the morning my time. It'll still be in the midst of the Pleiades, but I wouldn't be able to image it until 4. So not probably not gonna happen tonight for me, unfortunately, because those are kind of neat with it transiting. Like you can't really see the nebulosity, but you can see the bright stars kind of getting occultation from the moon. I think that's one of the next things I need to do is get a microphone arm. Yeah, that's too bad. Like I say, I would do it, but by the time I'm up, or by the time it's above the telescope, I'm not even sure if it's 4 a.m. It might be as early as 3 a.m. my time, but it might not be till 4 a.m. Which is, yeah, unfortunate. Let me see. Let me see something here real quick. All right. Yeah. Because, like in August, it's at the moon is next to the Pleiades, like during daylight hours in the US, so that's out. And it goes, the moon goes over the Pleiades in September, but it's again during US daylight hours. I'm just trying to see when the next time it's like this. In October will be another. It won't completely go right over the middle of it, but it will go over several of the stars in October. And it's like at 10-11 p.m. My time. So October looks good. And yeah, November there's one, but it's after it's like after sunrise. So October looks like a well-situated one. And, well, that's appropriate. The one in December is also going to be a good one. It'll be around 8 p.m. my time, but because it's in the winter, it should be, or almost the winter, it should be dark. And it doesn't go right up the middle of it, but it goes right next. I mean, it's like right next to it. So we've got two more, October and, yeah, it didn't take long at all. Snake and live stream. Oops, gotta go look on the other computer. Oh, nice. And you did a panorama, or I mean a mosaic, which is nice. Nice wide field, and you got like a number of other dark nebulas. That's pretty awesome. See, that would be another, again, that's why either an S30 or S30 Pro at Starfront would be awesome for this kind of stuff. Because for some of it, I wouldn't even need to do mosaic. And with a mosaic, I could really do something pretty amazing. That would be awesome. Cigar Galaxy, let me check. Actually, the cigar, I want to say it's probably in an area where I can't see it. It might be too low to the north. Yeah, it's too low. I can see things pretty low in certain directions, but not that direction, unfortunately. Good evening, or good morning. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Apoxlus? Always, I try to pronounce people's usernames, but it's sometimes especially after midnight, I sometimes have a hard time. Yeah, this is looking nice. For how much time have I done on this one? It's been running for 11 minutes. I'm doing another 9 minutes on it, and then it's going to go to the Pelican. And then it's going to go to the Angelfish Nebula. Yeah, this Obviously, it has the wrong plate solving. That's a bug. All right, and where am I here? Oh, let's bring up the little view of the sunset cam. I'm a sucker for sunsets. I really am. Again, this could be really confusing to people to see day and night. It's like, what am I looking at here? What is that snake? I'm so confused. That's true. That's true. When sunset's full of promise. Yeah, that's especially good. Although, you know, sometimes a dramatic one can be. Yeah, like if there's clouds off in the distance and you get the beams kind of effect of the light around the clouds kind of going across the sky. But then at least if it's towards the horizon, it won't interfere. I don't think this is not updated. Oops. Yeah. Why hasn't it updated? Because I was expecting the Milky Way to have moved a bit, but let me reload this. Yeah, hopefully the clouds stay away. What time is it in New Zealand? Oh yeah, see, I was like, the Milky Way is really... No, I'm just trying to get my bearings here. I was just trying to get my bearings on the Milky Way and what I'm looking at. I think I know where I'm looking. I think like that's the Skullum star cluster. Is that right? Anyway, I need to stop the all-sky camera and go back to the main attraction. 5:20. No, I mean you can see it wherever. It's just it just depends on I mean it's at different angles in the sky, but only 10 weeks. Yeah, no, it's going to be more than 10 minutes. So, good evening, Seiko. Yeah. Yeah, I mean the the problem is I mean the good thing is the sun is starting to set earlier since, summer solstice, and for various reasons I ended up starting it at 10 US Central, but I might next time it might be 9:30 or even 9:15 US Central, and it's just going to keep getting earlier, so at least there's that. Yeah. Well, yeah, because of probably light pollution. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see it from where I am. Like if I go into a rural area, I can see it. Not like you see on the all sky camera here, but at least I can see it. Yeah, let me see when is the sunset? Yeah, it says the sunset is 8:40 at Brady right now, which is where it's a town near where Starfront is. Brady, Texas, and at its worst, it was, the sun was setting actually this claims 8:30 it was setting, but now it's now it's like 10 minutes earlier, 20, and by next month it'll be another half hour earlier. So yeah, I mean I adjust the live streams based on, I try to get into at least astronomical twilight just to so I can start imaging. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's done. So it's moving on to the next. Yeah, I mean, that's basically... Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a separate problem. The roof observatory is really what I need. Because the problem is, after about 1 or 2 p.m., the sun is behind a building. But if I had the roof observatory, I could, yeah, you're right, I could do that. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, moon, cloud, sun. Yeah. So now it's going to go to the Pelican for a bit. Now that's... like I say, I don't think I've imaged it from Starfront. I don't remember. I might have. It's just showing the buffered image, which again, I should fix that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Thanks, Cosmic Ray. thanks for joining, and have a good evening. Yeah, so have a good rest of your night. Yeah, this is I think, yeah, I have the light pollution filter on with this. Yeah, because see, I've got the little handy indicator now finally. Oh, is it doing this? I might have to restart. Which I had started implementing a restart mechanism when the back end gets kind of in a weird state, but yeah, it's in a weird state, so I'm gonna bounce that. Yeah, so we'll see if it recovers or if I have to hit reload. I guess I have to hit reload. Again, it's pre-alpha, so that's my excuse. Yeah. Well, so it's funny you should ask that. So this gets into a like another project that I've kind of temporarily put a pin in it for a bit. So this, I decided. let me. I'm over again. Scope creep. So it started off a few months back where I'm like, yeah, I want to fix some issues with ALP, and I want to add observation tracking management software or screen. And it morphed into like its own thing. And I got this idea that, well, not everybody who uses ALP, or not everybody, there are people who would want to use that software who don't have Seestars and don't use ALP. So I decided to make it a separate project. And somehow I have 2 or 3 different thoughts on how to do it. It would be integrated with ALP, so out of the box you could do it with ALP, or you could do it, use it standalone. But then in parallel, I had a lot of problems. There were a lot of changes I wanted to make, both architecturally and just aesthetics of live view in ALP. I mean, for those new, who don't know, I wrote the live view in ALP, and so I'm like, I'm dissing my own code. But yeah, it was like there were a lot of things I wanted to change, and the way I wrote it was such, it seemed like a good idea at the time, but really it was getting in the way of moving forward. And so I got this idea that, like, well, let me just start off with this little thing of redoing the or re-implementing certain bits of ALP, using some other techniques for kind of the messaging layer, talking to the telescope, and in the interest of fixing some of the kind of weird sporadic bugs that happen, like the timer, like the schedule stop, or other things. Anyway, my plan was like have comprehensive back end that is less likely to have those kind of problems, paired with just a simple web view. that has a couple of features that I've wanted to have, like being able to rotate the image, right? And then, because if you're on a desktop, the portrait orientation is kind of annoying, and being able to zoom in, because I was like using the zoom plugin a lot. But then I started adding features and more features, and like this what was originally just going to be live view, I'm still trying really hard not to re-implement all of ALP, because my plan all along was I was going to forklift this code into ALP somehow and just make the live view really the live view, and then every other bit would still, and it would use the new kind of under the hood messaging layer to help that part of it, but like I wasn't going to redo the scheduler, didn't want to redo all the settings, everything else. That was the plan, but then this thing has gotten out of hand. I haven't abandoned the plan. It's just I'm kind of in a conundrum that I have written so much code. Well, AI and I have written so much code that I'm not sure what the next steps are. Meanwhile, while I'm trying to figure it out, I keep adding more code to it. So yeah, that's where I am right now. And yeah. So the plan was I would have two pieces. I would have ALP, which theoretically this would be part of ALP. And I would have I don't have a great name for it right now. The astronomy logbook is what I'd been calling it, or I called it a few different things. Basically, it was a planning journal, like tracking what you've imaged, have a list of like, I'm going to image these 5 targets. It would track how much time you spent on it, or how much time you'd actually imaged on that target, stuff like that, and be able to search on images. Have I imaged this before? Stuff like that. Got pretty far on that before I kind of paused it to refocus on this. But right now I'm still on the one hand I'm kind of thinking about it, but I'm also like making my future integration work perhaps more difficult because I've added so much code. Like this thing is like 100,000 lines of code already, I think. And all of ALP before, I think, was like half that size. And I haven't even implemented all of ALP. It's just because I added so much other stuff into here. And the other software is, I don't know, it's tens of thousands of lines too. And it's got a, UI, it's got a whole bunch of stuff. It looks up the, can I even let me see if I can run it. Yeah, I can't easily run it, but it does, it's kind of like everything. It's almost like every piece of software that I've used for imaging, I threw it in there. Like you can pull up the weather. It'll show you like the little grid of when it's clear and when it's cloudy for the next few days. Right now it only works in the US. No, I take it back. I don't know where all it works because I'm using OpenWeather's API. But yeah, it has that, and it shows you the phase of the moon, and it's not just like a diagram. It actually shows you it's actually from the Clementine orbiter, an image, a public domain image I found, and I calculate the phase of the moon and overlay it. So it's the actual image of the moon with the phase applied to it. Anyway, just spent a lot of time on this over the last few months, and it's all out in a couple different GitHub repos, but I'm just trying to figure out how to, the problem is I'm so focused on adding things that I I'm still trying to figure out how to deploy it. I mean, honestly, like for this piece, I've started further on trying to get the deployment working because Cosmic Ray was prodding me in Discord, wanting to use it, wanting to try it out. Anyway, yeah. Touching stars. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, like the AI right now, like there's times when I've used some of the tools where it's interesting how it is able to connect a bunch of dots in a way that makes sense. Like take this file and do this to it and then do this. And I know conceptually how some of it works and like how it breaks down some of the instructions into a series of steps. And I forget what it's called. Anyway, and then there's other times where it just totally doesn't get it and you keep going in circles with it and it still doesn't get it. That said, it's made a lot of progress and there's other things I know that people are working on, so I don't know if it'll be in 5 years. I mean, it'll get, I mean, it's already gone very far. But there's the school of thought that we're at diminishing returns. Maybe people make things more efficient. Maybe AI, or not AI, quantum computers might help. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I need to, yes, the astrolog. I've been so focused on this. Really what I need to do is get this where I can at least call it alpha level instead of pre-alpha. And I think it's close. I think really all, like for me, I mean, it's all arbitrary. I mean, it's just me thinking about this, but I think like I've disabled most of the things that are like totally half-baked. And so I would probably just add go-to and maybe clean up the control panel a little bit. Like fix a few things that are just complete fabrications here, or just hide them. Like, actually this is duplicate, so really this part can get chopped. Environment conditions, these are like dummy data, but I have the same widget in the astrolog book. And so really I need to also figure that out of how I want to share code. But yeah, I've made this mess. I've put myself in this predicament of all these things I've written. And a lot of it was, it was based on working with ALP, using other tools, seeing questions people have asked about like, oh, could you add this or that? And just trying to deal with my own stuff of, the Seestar makes it so easy to image and just let things run all night, especially now that it's at Starfront, that you accumulate terabytes of images, and then it's like, well, how do I even keep track of that? I mean, I'm a command line person. I go rummage around and find like, oh, have I actually imaged this before? And oh, that was from my backyard, so it's going to be junk. So I should try it again at Starfront, whatever. Anyway, the plan is fuzzy at this point. Yeah. Yeah, that was over 10 years ago, that beard. That beard was I posted that on Discord. See, that's why people need to join the Discord if they haven't already. Yeah, where was that? Where did I? Oh, it was of all random places. It was in weather. Yeah, that was me 10 years ago with quite a beard. Yep, that is indeed me. But the one of the reasons why, I mean, I'd had facial hair on and off, usually not that much over the years, mostly clean shaven, or you know, shaving every other day or every third day. But I what finally did it for me is it was a little bit too much gray on the beard. Like it grayed before any other hair grayed, and so I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. And you know, once you get past the itchy phase, it's okay. It's fine. I actually grew not as big of a beard, but almost as big twice. So like that was one of them, and then I just like shaved it all off, and then like 6 months later I had a beard again. I mean, I decided to grow it out again. Yeah, yeah. That's where things will get weird. What are you talking about? The light pollution? Yeah, definitely. Or AI. Not made. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. You know what the this is random Erewhon. We cover random topics here. I'll tell you what. There's beard oil out there. But one of the things that helped a lot for me personally was conditioner. I don't use conditioner on my hair, but on my beard, it worked great. It helped a lot. Yeah. What else? But yeah, getting past that phase is although there were a lot of times where I might have had like a short beard, and so I would get past that phase. I would just kind of deal with it. But I started getting to the point where like conditioner I found helped, because the texture of my beard it's different than my head hair. It's like very coarse, and so it was more irritating in some ways. But I found conditioner did help that a lot. So yeah, I'd go to hotels for work, and I actually, for the first time in my life, would actually use the conditioner in the hotel. But yeah, I also tried like the beard oil and stuff that I feel like work kind of well. I didn't go so far as some people of like, you know, combing my beard. But yeah, and then when it got to a certain point, I had just like hair scissors that I would use to periodically trim it, like especially around like above the lip, and just to keep it, like I trim it on the bottom a bit, because otherwise it would start getting a little messy, or just kind of, or it would bother my neck sometimes. But yeah, beards. It is funny because a lot of people who didn't know me at that time, whenever they see that photo, they're like, "What?" That is, and it's not just like a little beard. It's not like just a short beard. It's like a beard, you know. And it actually got longer than that. Not much longer, but it did get longer. Oh yeah, ingrown hairs. Yeah, that's another problem. But yeah, I just use I use like a multi-blade razor, manual. I mean, just a replaceable, like a Gillette or something, but it's like a 5-blade razor or something. I find that I don't get nicked as much with that. Because I many years ago I used like and a couple times I had picked up like cheap 2-blade ones, and that was brutal. And I did electric a lot, but then I think the last time I burned out the motor on one of my electric razors when it finally gave up, I just switched to normal. Sorry, I just thought of something. I was like how did I shave off all that hair? And I used like a hair trimmer, and I'm like, which hair trimmer? I'm like, don't tell me I was using the one I used on the cats. I might have used the ones I might have cleaned it and used it on myself, because I was trying to get rid of like a massive beard, and you're not gonna like shave that with a disposable razor. So I might have used the one I used for grooming the cats to get rid of my beard. Both times when I had to get rid of it. Okay, new sidebar. So you're saying oh yeah. Again, like a lot of this is a mock-up, and I might have a better version of it in the Astro logbook program. But yeah, that's a good. Let me make note of that. Yeah. And that's another reason why I'm still calling it pre-alpha, because I'm now kind of unofficially at that point, but I wasn't ready to like really take many suggestions, because I was still just trying to get some core functionality internally working. But I'm at that point, so yeah. So yeah, I made note of that, because I need to fix that. Okay, cool. Thanks. I might not be live streaming at that point, but I'll probably be on Discord, because I feel pretty awake right now. Let's see. How much more time is on this? The Pelican's kind of, I don't know. It's like really noisy today. 24 minutes. The next one's probably going to be even more challenging. So I think I'm going to go to the next target. This one only has a few more minutes on it anyway. So I'm going to go to that Angelfish Nebula SH263. Again, I need to get a microphone boom arm so I can have it at a better level, so I'm not like hunched over, because that is, especially going into the later summer, into fall, when when the sun was setting at like 7 p.m., I could start the live streams at 8 p.m. and I'll stream till midnight during the week, and so I could get like a 4-hour or even 5-hour, like by winter, a 5-hour live stream. So it'll be more important for me to get that microphone arm. Okay, so it is now to the that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, or faster, honestly. No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, my goal for this was to make it harder to break. And I think for me to get, I should write this down of like what do they call it? What done looks like. And I think for beta, I think for alpha, I'll just say I'm going to do go to an imaging start within this. Be able to do all the things I've done tonight without doing ALP off to the side. But I think beta, I actually have a lot of unit tests on the back end, because that was one thing I wanted to, if I was going to re-implement it or re-implement certain bits of code differently, I wanted to make sure it was like verifiably, that the certain behaviors were verifiable, and sometimes that it can be very helpful. So I made a point of starting to add unit tests both to the front end and back end, and I think to call it a beta test stage, I think I would want to have the tests pretty far along, because the good thing is then if a bug is found, if it's a hole in the test, like an oversight in the test, then I can fix that and fix the problem, and then it won't happen again. Because that was one thing that would happen with ALP, like we'd fix an issue and then it would another change would end up bringing back the same behavior, and I want to avoid that with this. Yeah. Which one of yeah, right, because you had asked for this one. Yeah, I'll post it. I'm gonna let this one run for an hour. So yeah, I'll post that when I'm done. When it's done. And depending on how it goes, I might do this again. Like if it looks promising within that hour, I might next time it's clear, do it for a few hours, especially in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, no, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Get some time on any of those satellites, honestly. Yeah, no problem. And honestly, I'm probably going to wrap it up at some point. Not because I'm tired particularly, but I need to get up and stretch my legs, and I could always come back, but I think I just need to get in a more comfortable position. One of these days I might get like a recliner, have it here so I could kick back during the live streams. Oh yeah, no, it's. And how long has I been going with this? Yeah, it's only been 3 hours. I think my record is like 7 hours or something for a live stream. But I did get up a couple times during the live stream. But and a couple of those, I wasn't even at this current setup. I didn't have a chair. I actually was sitting on a stool for 7 hours. I was feeling pretty stiff at the end. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up. But before I do, let me see where we stand on weather here. So at Starfront, actually it looks like there might even be clouds rolling in here before too long. In the next couple hours at Starfront. Sunday night looks like kind of a bust there, but Monday night might be clear at Starfront. So if that's the case, I'll do a live stream Monday night. And here we have like some tropical rain nearby, but Monday night might also be clear here, which would be great because then I could finally take out some of my scopes. It looks like Tuesday night might be clear too. Maybe even Wednesday night here, not at Starfront, but I have a lot of stuff. I have a Seestar here, and I have a refractor that hasn't been getting much use lately. So yeah, I'll probably Monday's looking promising. So hopefully between here or Starfront, it'll be clear Monday night, and I can do a live stream. But yeah, I think I'll leave it at that though. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks to Stephen Fox for sharing a sunset view and for sharing some images on Discord that of some of the targets. And thank you for joining, and thanks everybody. And I think I will leave it at that, and hope everybody has a great rest of no problem. And hope to see you all soon, and have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you next time.